Remember, you can pause anytime you need. 可以随时按下暂停键。Make sure have your tools ready. Okay, so before we learn about one-point perspective and we do a lot of practice. Now, today we are going to cover two-point perspective. So one-point perspective, we have one vantage point, right? So all the object will disappear by this point. So we have one vantage point. But when we want to do two-point perspective, so which means we need 2 points, but we only have one. So can we add the second point anywhere we want? Not exactly, because we have to make sure the vantage point is on the same level high. Okay, but you can have the second vantage point at the middle of the paper, the side of the paper, but you just need to make sure the vantage point, the first one of the vantage point, and the second one, the vantage point, has to be on the same level high. It cannot be higher or lower. It has to be the same level height. So I have my second vantage point and they are on the same height. Okay? Then remember the one-point perspective, we start with something, the face, right? The face of the object. But two-point perspective, we start from the edge. So when we do the box, we are not doing the face anymore. This is the face. So we don't do that. We start from the edge. Just one single line. Okay? So we are not doing the face, so don't do the box. I want to do the lines. So the line could be long, could be short, your choice. So I want you to practice 5 of them at different place of the paper. Okay? And they have to be vertical line. No line is diagonal. Okay? So let me use the color so it's helping you, so I won't confuse you. I use the green one. Okay? So I want you to connect the dots all the way to the vantage point 2. 1, 2. And I also need to connect to the vantage point 1. So you can freehand it or use the ruler. It's all by yourself. Okay? So 1, 2. And it doesn't look like 3D yet because we have to find the width. Okay? So the same, I want my face looks like this big. So I have to add a line straight down. Okay? And one more on the other side. So we have the center line. So let me use the red one. So that's the burgundy. So that's the line that we start, right? The edge we start. Now we find the right. Now we have to find the left. But I don't have the top. How can I make it? I have to cross over. So let me use another color. I use the blue one. Okay? So we have the connection here. We have connection there. So the right one have to cross over to the left vantage point. The left points have to cross over to the right vantage point. So it will look like this. And 2. Okay, now you got the top right here. And it is a 3D box. Now I want you to practice 4 of them by yourself. And that's C. Do you have any questions or not? Okay, so now you can try it. So remember, we have to connect the edge to the vantage point 2 and 1. and adding the height on the right, adding the left on the left. So we have middle, right, and left. Okay, so I have the right side, I have the left side. Now I have to find the top. You also can freehand it, but make sure all the diagonal lines have to go through the vantage point. Otherwise, the other line has to go straight up. Okay? So if you have the edge is over on top, higher than the vantage point, you should see the bottom of the box, not the top of the box, okay? So make sure that you are doing something right. Okay, it's just the 2-point perspective, small practice. Okay, after we practice those boxes, then we will move on to do our drawing for today. Okay, so don't forget we are going to use the sketch pad. We are going to do the sketch for today. So make sure you have your sketch paper, and we only use 2B for today. And the pen, eraser for short. Okay, now we are going to do our second practice for today. So we are going to do a 3D cake. Okay, by 2-point perspective. So first we have to start to do the box like the rectangular with 2 vantage points. So again, you have to find 2 points on your paper, and they has to be the same height. Okay, they has to be the same height. So if your vantage point is right here, you're going to have the same height for your second vantage point. So that's 2 and that's 1. So make sure they're on the side, so we have the space to do the cake at the middle. Okay, so make sure they are the same height. Okay, now I want my cake right at the middle of the paper, so I'm going to have a line right here. So that's the line. I want my cake looks like this big. Then we are going to trace. You can trace it by freehand. So connect the dot, connect the corner to the vantage point 2 and vantage point 1. So you have 4 lines. So 2 lines for each point. And try to make it very, very bright. Not too heavy. They are not the final. Okay, then I want to have my cake like this big. So straight down and straight down. Then cross over, remember, right to left, left to right. So we got the top, but it looks like the rectangular, right? I want to do a triangular cake, not rectangular. So I have to transform the rectangle to the triangle and out. So before we do that, I have to do the box at the below so I can make the box looks like the triangular. Okay, so again, the left to the right to the left. Okay, now I got the rectangle at the bottom right here. Okay, and remember I wanna make the triangle. So I keep these two corners, but I will going to divide the lines right here. And I add in the lines in the middle here, a point. I add a point in between this line. Okay, so I can trace it to the corner, trace it to the corner. So connect it. Then I got the triangle. Okay, then I straight up. From the point, straight up to touch the line right here. So I can connect the lines, this point, the connection line, to here and there. Now it's a little bit confused, right? There are too much line. So no worry, I will going to use the different pencil crayon to help you to find them up. So I use the burgundy. You don't have to, okay? But now you can remove some pencil line that we don't need it. Okay, so now I got the triangular. For my cake. Okay, so now I want you to start to separate the cake into the layer. Then you can decorate the cake by yourself, what kind of flavor, but base with the 2 vanishing points. Okay, so if you have the layer, make sure all the layer is going to connect to the vanishing point 1 and vanishing point 2. Sounds good? Now take your time to do it. I will do it with the markers so you can have a better look from the screen. And you can remove the pencil line that we don't need it. Okay, and feel free if you want to add some background like the dish, like a plate, like a cup, like a fork. So all by yourself, but make sure that you are focused on 2-point perspective. Okay, so when you're done, don't forget to add some shading. Dark medium line with 2B pencil is enough. So we don't do something too difficult for today because for most of you, 2-point perspective is super new. Okay, so I don't want to make you in trouble. I want you to learn something. So we are going to do some small practice for the first 2 weeks. Then we are going to getting more professional and do something more difficult. Okay, so try to use to it because we are going to do 2-point perspective for the rest of the weeks. Okay, and feel free if you want to add more background and to complete your joint. Try to make your background match to your joint, so which means they have to be the 3D style. Adding some shadow if you could. So which means you have to choose where is the light coming from. Choose one light source. Then you will find where the shadow is. When you're done, don't forget to find a place to sign your name and write down the date. When you complete your drawing, sign the name and write down the date. 完成画作之后，签下你的名字，更写上日期。Don't forget to take a photo of your drawing and send it to us. 不要忘记帮你的作品拍上照片寄给我们哦。And don't forget to clean out the table before you go. 不要忘记清洁你的桌子哦。Bye bye, see you next time.